Hey guys, welcome back to Large Scale RC Nation. This is Brandon, and today I'm excited to show this amazing WPL. It's the B36-3. Let's go ahead and unbox it. Oh wait, the box is empty? Where is it? Oh, there she is. Well, that's only part of it. Where's the other part of it? Okay, now we're in business. I was unable to do an unboxing for the fact that I ordered it from AliExpress, which I shouldn't have. Yes, I know, go through WPL as they have strong boxes, nothing's damaged, and it comes properly. The way that mine came was in a brown cardboard box along with some bubble wrap, and it didn't do any justice. I had wheels that were bent, as you can see in the photo right here, and a roof rack that was bent, which I'll show you here as well. So I got direct replacement parts from WPL. They were excellent customer service. And let's go ahead and jump into this truck. I know it's already set up, but it makes it for a little bit shorter of a video. So I do have a Henglong tank. I went ahead and installed the sticker on there from the Henglong tank. It does come with this decal sheet. These are peelable stickers, so even though you see these big squares, you're going to be like, oh, what's all this extra plastic? When you lay it on there, only the decal will come off, so don't worry about that. It does have a peelable backing. You have numbers, a bunch of different caution signs. It's all random stuff. It really doesn't pertain to the trailer itself. Only these are really what's needed, some numbers, and I went ahead and cut this as I'll show you. But everything else, really not needed. Let's jump into this truck. Going over this truck, it is based on the B36. So it's going to be the same cab. You have your roof rack, clearance lights, hard plastic windows, nice scale looking windshield wipers. You're going to bolt on the floodlight along with the mirrors. You have your hood that pops open. It does come with a battery. Coming down, we have the nice grille with the plastic behind there. You can detail that and paint it to make it a little bit more pronounced, do some dry brushing on there. We have nice hooks on the front of the bumper, nice detailed bumper with some bolts on there. You can dry brush a little aluminum or silver just to make it look like the bolts have been scratched from installing the bolts. Nice incandescent lights on here. That goes with the old school theme of military trucks. We have our turn signals. We have some side markers that are on the fenders. Very scale looking, looks really good. And some nice, they're not super soft, but they work for what it's for. Let's move to the side. So you have working doors that open, which is amazing. I wish the B16 had that. We have nice little door grab handles and the latch for the door. You have a battery box compartment, a couple of the storage compartments. We have a real working spare tire that's mounted, which is really cool. Really scale looking rims. I would love to see some more detail on the tire sidewall, like the tire size, stuff like that. We also have nice plastic realistic mud flaps on here. Looking closer at this new rear bumper, this would be an awesome addition to your regular B36 truck. Maybe even your B16. I am going to test this out. I have one on the way. But here you can see the decals installed. You have a pintle hook, which I do wish this opened up so you can pull trailers that have an eyelet tow hitch. These are where you would connect your chains for your tow behind trailer, not your fifth wheel. Now going back to the taillights, you can add an LED kit on here for your stoplight, your reverse, and your blinkers if you have a working V3 speed controller. Here is our fifth wheel glide plate. As you can see, it looks really nice. It does rotate, so when the trailer is moving side to side, it doesn't lift the trailer up. It makes it articulate really nicely. We have these little glide wheels for when you're churning. That way it moves nice and freely. And then here we have an actual working lockjaw and grab handle, which is spring loaded. Looking on the belly of the B36-3 is the same as a B36. So looking at the bottom of the B36-3 and talking about the B36, let's go over exactly what you will get. You're going to have your on and off switch, which is right here. You will have your plastic drive shafts. These have been beefed up a little bit more, but they still are weak. I do recommend getting metal drive shafts for that. You're going to get the 370 motor with the counter-rotating gearbox, and this has been updated where it is pressed up a little higher for better ground clearance. As you can see, it's pretty flush with the battery box and stuff like that. The counter rotating is going to help with your torque twist, and it's going to make everything work a lot better as far as driving. If you are going to switch over to the 2-speed transmission, as I did with my B36-3, you will have to flip your axles. So you're going to have to unscrew these 4 bolts, take off this upper section right here, flip your axle over on your second and third axle. And the reason for that is this is counter rotating. The 2-speed transmission is not counter rotating, so that's the reason why you have to flip your axles over. Otherwise, your front one's going to be moving forward and your back two are going to be going in reverse. So that is a tip for these brand new B36-3 and the B36. I did not know it had this, so I went ahead and purchased the 2-speed transmission. It does help, but this will pull really good compared to the older versions. This one's going to allow you to pull under load in the low speed and then switch over to high speed once you're get going. Now, if you are going to be pulling Henglong tanks, I do recommend a stiffer suspension. Maybe get that metal seesaw suspension, which is going to be a lot stiffer than this factory one. It is really soft, good articulation, definitely nice for crawling. But when it comes to a lowboy trailer, I don't understand these guys in YouTube videos that pull them on trails and expect it to go over rocks, roots, branches, and stuff like that. I mean, for a 16th scale, that'd be go over tree trunks. And that's just not what trailers are made for when it comes to lowboy trailers. I mean, I drive for a living. You're never gonna see this lowboy trailer off-roading. I mean, this really doesn't make sense to me, and they're complaining about it not working off-roading. Yeah, it goes on a dirt paved road, but I mean, it's not made for off-roading and anything like that. If you want that, then get an off-road crawling truck with an off-road crawling trailer. This is made for pulling tanks and vehicles and other equipment. It's not a trail truck. This is definitely just a pulling transport truck. So that's what I bought this for, is for my Henglong tank. It does look really amazing. Moving to the driver's side of the truck, it's going to be exactly the same as the other side, but we do have a nice little fuel tank with a fuel cap, just like the B36. That's going to be nice if you scale detail that a little bit with some paint. Let's take a look inside the cab. You can see inside the cab, it's very detailed. You can separate the cab, take that out and paint it to make it look really nicely. You can add a figure in there, which I did do that. I grabbed this little guy from the dollar store. I am looking to get a better scaled figure. From my tank, I had this extra helmet from my Sherman tank. So I threw that on there, make it look a little bit more scaled. Let's toss him in there. So here you can see our driver in there. As for a little bit more scale detail, looks awesome. It's just his half body, but looks good. So now it's time to go over the trailer. This trailer is massive. So starting at the front of the trailer, you're going to have a wire that's going to connect from your truck to your trailer. This is going to give power to the servo to lift and lower the ramps, which is awesome. Great detail. You're going to have a working handle, and I believe this is just to support someone that's going to get the tire off of the trailer. It's just a little extra safety security, so that does snap up and down. We do have a working spare tire. There is a few things you are going to have to add to the landing gears. You're going to need to add on this little wheel. That's to lower and lift the landing gear. Going down the trailer, you have these nice little rails. This is going to hold your WPL E1, if you have one, from sliding off the trailer. Inside this compartment is going to be your servo. Now you're going to have these guides as well as these little pieces that you're going to have to add on to the trailer. These are going to be loose, along with this little section right here and this little plastic wheel. So the larger wheel is going to go on the landing gear. The smaller one is going to be placed right here. Moving to the trailer suspension, this is going to be a realistic walker beam style suspension. This is made for heavy loads. You'll see these on cement trucks. So it's not going to have a suspension with leaf springs or anything like that due to heavy loads. This is the real reason why that you have a walker beam style suspension. Our rims and tires are very nice detailed. As you can see, the sidewalls on the tire have actual tire size. I hope they bring this to the trucks. It looks amazing. Moving to the rear of your vehicle, these are going to be your loading ramps that do work off of your controller, which is amazing. Here's the linkage that goes to the servo. And as you can see, I added these little caution pieces. These are on working military trucks. I'll show you a picture of the example. These little caution stickers that I got is going to be the larger one right here. I just cut it in half and just applied it to both sides, which you'll see in the picture. The sticker right here, I just cut this one down the middle in half, and I applied those on each side of the trailer, as you'll see in the example of this photo. The landing gears do retract, and those are just notched, and you got to pull those down by hand. You're not really going to use that too much, but it is really cool that you can back in the trailer. I'll show you an example. Due to the trailer being so massive, it is going to come in two sections, your front half and your rear half, and this is going to be connected by these 4 screws. You're just going to push the 2 pieces together, put these 2 screws in. You're going to add your positive and your negative leads from both sides and add those inside of the screw. Here you can see your servo arm and the linkage going to the rear. To go over the remote, we have proportional steering, proportional throttle. This is the channel that lifts your ramps. You also have a 3rd channel, which will shift your transmission from 1st to 2nd gear. You also have your steering rate. You can make this less or more steering. And this is going to be your steering trim. So you can trim that to go straight. You could also press both buttons at the same time. This will allow you to drive another WPL truck on the trailer, push both buttons, and then it will switch to this truck and you can drive it away. So you'll have 2 trucks with 1 remote. You'll just have to change the little prong on the electric controller. The remote feels really good in the hand. It's got that rubberized grip and it does look really good. This will also work with your winch. So if you have another truck with a winch, this controller works with that as well. So with your landing gear set at the proper height, I hope I can back this under as I am a truck driver. You're just gonna go ahead and push this back and it will actually connect. There we go. We do a little tug test to make sure that it's connected, which it is. Now let's go ahead and lift up our landing gear. Landing gears are now lifted up. It's time to connect our wiring harness with the little tab right here. That's going to face towards your driver's side and with the exposed wires facing forward. That's going to clip into your truck in that little hole right there. And on your trailer, it's going to connect into the front, as I said before. This one's going to have the tab also facing the driver's side with the wires facing down. And that will connect right in here. This is a nice tight fit, so don't worry, it does go in there. Okay, now we got our wires connected, or air lines if you want to call it that. This is going to lower and lift our landing gears. It is proportional. If you go slow, it will lift it up slowly. For a little bit more scale look. And that's how that works. So once you clip this back in, I always recommend pulling it out of the truck and leaving this in the trailer. It's a lot easier to remove it from the truck than it is the trailer. Well, as you can tell why I went with the theme of the star and the everything else, it really ties in with my Henglong 1/16 scale Sherman tank. As you can see, the back end does sag, so that's why I do recommend that suspension. The front is going to be lifted up and it's going to be very light, which is typical on real big rigs. That's why you have to move your tandems to adjust weight to the front end. So I am going to purchase some wheel weights. They are on the way, and that's going to add a little bit more weight to the front end. I do recommend getting metal axles. That's also going to add more weight. And by lifting up the rear end with a stiffer suspension, that's going to take some load off of the front and allow us to have better traction on the front. So right now, as it steers, it is not gonna get a real nice dig in left and right. It is gonna kind of lift up that front end a little bit and make it a little bit harder to make your turns, but it does work properly. I'll demonstrate that for you. Let's get this binded up. Okay, and let me go ahead and zoom out so you can get the scale of this whole big tank setup. But this does look freaking amazing. So as you can tell, it pulls it just fine. This is a Henglong 1/16 scale tank, and it just looks super cool, realistic looking. And I'm gonna add some correct figures for both the truck and the trailer. And I do have the 2-speed transmission. So you're just gonna click this third channel right here. And that's gonna give you the nice slow crawl. Here's our ramps going up and down. One critique that I have WPL is if you made the deck longer and wider where the vehicles sit. I believe this is a lot of people's gripes. What do you think about that, guys? I haven't really seen any Henglong tanks in any videos it pulling, but this is why I bought this truck, was to pull my tank. If we do like a tank battle, it look really cool pulling up to the battlefield with this truck and trailer that all goes together properly. Let's take montage and check it out. So as you can see, there are some identification numbers on the truck, trailer, and tank. That is typical. I chose 55, that is my high school football number. I chose 5 on the trailer because that was my baseball number. And I chose 619 because that was my grandfather's birthday, 619. He did fight in World War II, so this was kind of a build for him. As you can see why I chose the Sherman tank. So also wanted to say thank you to everyone that has served. He was in the Army, and so I thought this was a cool little dedication build for him. I hope you guys enjoyed the unboxing, quote unquote, of this B36-3. It is an amazing vehicle, great price, and as I show you, it does work with Henglong tanks. I do recommend you can customize the trailer, make it wider, but I do recommend just getting some tent scale chain ratchet system. I'll post a link on that. I'm gonna get that for this just so it secures the load. It should hold it on there. So I'll do some testing with that in a future video. But thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell to see when new videos post up, and hit that thumbs up so that way it helps with the video and if you enjoyed the video as well. All right guys, see you in the next one. Have a great day.